It's well known that the Republican Party is outnumbered in Hudson County. However, at last week's cocktail and fireworks event, they were in high spirits. Larry Kudlow, who is well known from CNBC, was a guest speaker and gave a very inspirational and optimistic speech.
I have no idea what's cooking in your local level. I know a little bit about the state level. I just had lunch 2 weeks ago with Governor Christie, who I've interviewed many times on television, and my pal going back 40 years, Jeff Bell, is a Reagan guy. I worked for Reagan. I was his deputy budget director. That was a long time ago in his first term. Do what you can for Jeff Bell. I know he's only 10 points down. The other guy's a crook, and a lot of it's going to come out. So do what you can. Oh, you taking this in from? I'll just say this. Again, I go back to Reagan. All the politics I know are from Ronald Reagan. Reagan argued right at the beginning of his first term that a country that's weak at home is a country that's going to be weak abroad. And that is exactly what has happened to us in the last 5 or 6 years. That is exactly what has happened to us. So we need to fix that. We need to fix that. And we will fix that. I am an optimist. I'm the quintessential optimist. And this election is going to be a great Republican year. We're going to take the Senate back. We're going to keep the House, maybe pick up a couple seats. John knows more about that than I do. And my argument, I have been to Washington. I wanted them to have a contract with America. I begged all the senators. I talked to them. I spoke to the Senate Steering Committee lunch, the Republican lunch. I said, just put 5 or 6 things on a piece of paper and broadcast it to the public. You're asking them to give you both houses. Tell them what you'll do with it. They didn't do it. All right, so whatever. Individuals are doing it, but the party's not doing it. But the individuals are doing well, and some of the races are starting to really come in now. My advice to them, in 90 days, put 2 bills on the president's desk. 2 bills. One, the Keystone Pipeline authorization. Put it on his desk. If he doesn't sign it, then he's making an issue for 2016. I'll take that issue anytime. 2, cut the business tax rates. We have the highest corporate tax rates in America. Get the 35% down to 20%. Let people bring their money from overseas so we can put it to work in America. The corporate tax cut is not a rich person's tax cut. The studies show it is the worker, wage earner, middle class person who will benefit from more business activity. You know why? Businesses run America.
He then spoke with HCTV about different topics involving the current administration.
Anything I can do to help. I'm a supporter of Governor Chris Christie. I like his message is very similar to mine, or my message is very similar to his. You know, we're for business and growth and jobs and lower taxes and less spending. Christie's a big tent guy, and so am I. So I admire his values very much. So if I can help in New Jersey, I'm helping. My friend Jeff Bell is running for the Senate. He's only 10 points down. He doesn't have any money. I've done what I can to help Jeff Bell. And if somebody else asks me, I'll help too. Look, I grew up in Englewood. Even though I live in the city, I grew up in Englewood. So I still have some credentials in New Jersey.
What will you say to those critics that will say that the economy is far better off right now than what it was before?
Look, I think the economy is better now than it was. It had to be. That was in the depths of a terrible recession. So it had to be. The trouble with that story is it should be much better. It should be much better. Instead of 2% growth, it should be 4% growth. And we're down 10 million jobs that we should have already caught up with. So my opinion is President Obama, and I've met him, I had dinner with him years ago before it was inaugurated the first time. I think he's a fine man. I think he's too top-heavy on government. I don't think he understands the role of incentives and rewards in the economy. And I don't think he likes business. And I'm very worried right now about his international leadership. I'm very worried. So I think it's time for change, and the way you start that change is you elect a Republican Senate.
Okay, who would you say is the best Republican to run for the president?
I think there's a bunch of good ones, and that's as far as I'll go.
Are you going to endorse anyone?
Most of them are friends of mine, and they're very talented. They're very talented. As I said before, this year or next time around, the Republicans will have a very deep bench. In 2012, we didn't. In 2016, we will. And that's why I'm very optimistic.
Well, thank you so much.
The night ended with a beautiful fireworks show overlooking the Manhattan skyline.